Appearance. Seems unfair, right? That's exactly what happened to Erica Johnson, an ordinary woman who was just looking for a little rest amid the chaos of modern life. But what no one expected was that this same woman, who was underestimated and humiliated, would become the center of a story that would change the lives of everyone around her. What Erica did next, after facing prejudice, was so unexpected that it turned the tide in ways no one could have predicted. Want to know how? Read on to discover how one simple nurse transformed the culture of an entire hotel, showing that true strength comes from the heart. Erica Johnson, a dedicated and hardworking nurse, finally decided to allow herself some well-deserved rest. After years of intense dedication to her profession, she booked a stay at the luxurious Starlight Hotel, looking for a refuge to recharge her batteries. Upon arriving at the hotel, Erica's heart was full of expectations, longing for days of tranquility and luxury. However, the reception was not as she expected. As soon as she entered, she was greeted by looks and behavior that revealed a silent but present prejudice. Mr. Thompson, the hotel manager, was the first to express this veiled hostility. Mr. Thompson, with his impeccable suit and calculating gaze, could not hide his discomfort at seeing Erica. His prejudice manifested itself through insidious questions, disguised as concern for her stay. He questioned, indirectly, whether Erica could really afford to stay at the hotel. This type of discrimination is subtle but deeply painful, and is often how racism manifests itself in environments where respect and courtesy should prevail. What Erica faced there was not just a question of lack of hospitality, but a reflection of a much larger problem. However, Erica was not a woman who was easily shaken. Her life as a nurse had already taught her how to deal with adverse situations and remain calm in the face of challenges. She took a deep breath, and instead of confronting the situation in a hostile manner, she chose to keep her dignity intact. After all, she knew that her value was not in the opinions of others, but in her own confidence and resilience. Determined not to let that first impression ruin her restful days, Erica continued with her check-in, keeping her head high and her spirit firm. Erica's arrival at the hotel, marked by a mix of expectation and disappointment, serves as a clear example of how we should behave in adverse situations. It's easy to lose your cool and react impulsively, but maintaining your composure is key to turning a negative experience into something positive. Erica was determined to enjoy her vacation, regardless of the prejudice she would face. This resolve would be put to the test more than once during her stay, but, as we will see, she would prove unwavering in her quest for peace and respect. Erica's story had not yet begun to reveal its full potential for change. Arriving at the hotel was just the first chapter of a journey that would not only impact his life, but also change the perception of many around him. Sometimes, it is in the first interactions that the course of an entire experience is shaped, and Erica was about to discover that, even in the midst of prejudice, there is room for great transformations. Once Erica settled into the Starlight Hotel, she soon realized that the environment, although luxurious, carried with it the weight of prejudice. The subtlety of Mr. Thompson, the manager's actions, did not go unnoticed by her. He seemed to evaluate your every move, as if he was waiting for a slip-up that would justify his distrust. In one of the interactions, Mr. Thompson, in a deliberately rude manner, questioned whether Erica really had the financial capacity to stay at the hotel, insinuating that she might have made an unwise choice by booking there. This type of behavior, although veiled, exposes the scars of structural racism that permeates even the most refined places. Erica, used to dealing with difficult situations in her nursing career, did not allow Mr. Thompson's treatment to affect her deeply. She knew that her worth was not tied to the prejudiced opinion of a stranger. However, the emotional impact of this type of discrimination cannot be underestimated. It's a painful reminder that despite all the effort and success, there are still invisible barriers that many must face daily. For many, This experience could have been enough to ruin their entire stay, but Erica chose not to let it get her down. The prejudice that Erica faced at the Starlight Hotel is a reflection of a society that still needs to evolve a lot in terms of equality and respect. Mr. Thompson's behavior is not an isolated case, but rather an example of how microaggressions can manifest themselves in ways that attempt to undermine a person's self-esteem and right to belong. In situations like this, Erica's response, staying calm and carrying on, is a lesson in resilience. She teaches us that often the best response to prejudice is to live well and prosper despite adversity. Even in the face of discriminatory attitudes, Erica kept her dignity intact. She knew that responding with hostility would only reinforce the negative expectations that Mr. Thompson and others might have of her. Instead, Erica decided that the best way to combat prejudice was to show that she deserved to be there as much as any other guest. This type of attitude is powerful because it directly challenges prejudice perceptions without the need for open confrontation, making it clear that respect must be earned through personal excellence. However, the impact of racism does not disappear easily. It leaves marks, and Erica knew she needed to prepare to face more challenges during her stay. What she didn't imagine was that an unexpected situation would put her in the spotlight, forcing both Mr. Thompson and other guests to rethink their attitudes and, who knows, change for the better. But to get to that point, Erica would have to pass a test of compassion and professionalism that would put all her skills to the test. Erica's stay at the Starlight Hotel, which was already marked by veiled prejudice, took an unexpected turn when she witnessed a medical emergency poolside. It was a moment that required more than just presence of mind. It required competence, compassion, and, above all, the decision to act, even if the recipient of that care was someone who had judged her unfairly. When the guest who had looked at her with disdain started to feel sick, Erica didn't hesitate. Her instinct as a nurse spoke louder than any hurt she could carry. There, at that critical moment, it didn't matter what had been said before, but what needed to be done. Erica, with her vast experience in life and death situations, quickly took control of the situation. She knew that every second counted, and even in an environment where she was not respected, she demonstrated a professional calm and unparalleled skill. While other guests and staff, including Mr. Thompson, panicked or became paralyzed by uncertainty, Erica began cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, procedures with precision. It was as if the entire environment had changed tone. The people around went from dismissive to admiring, realizing that the woman they had underestimated was actually saving a life. Erica's heroic act was not only a demonstration of her skills as a nurse, but also a profound lesson in the power of compassion. Despite being a victim of prejudice, she chose to save the life of someone who had misjudged her. This is the type of choice that defines a person's character and shows that, even in the midst of injustice, it is possible to act with greatness. By saving that life, Erica not only defied expectations of her, but also made it clear that a person's worth is not in how they are treated, but in how they treat others, especially in times of crisis. This episode transformed the perception of everyone around. Those who previously saw Erica as a stranger, someone who didn't belong in that luxurious environment, now saw her as a hero. Mr. Thompson, in particular, was forced to confront his own prejudices as he watched this woman, whom he had treated with disdain, save a life before his eyes. It was a moment of change of perspective for everyone, where old barriers of prejudice began to break down. Erica's courage and professionalism showed that a person's true value lies in their actions, not their appearances or backgrounds. However, the impact of this event did not stop there. The emergency was just the catalyst for an even greater transformation, both for Erica and those around her. What began as a simple rescue action would end up provoking deep reflection among guests and hotel staff, leading to changes that no one could have predicted. And it is exactly this chain of events that leads us to the next chapter of Erica's story, where the consequences of her actions begin to shape the future of the Starlight Hotel. After the dramatic episode in the pool, a remarkable transformation began to take place among the guests and staff at the Starlight Hotel. The couple who had previously judged Erica now found themselves facing a new reality. The woman they saved was the same woman they had despised. Confronted with life and death, they realized that their prejudices had no place in a world where actions speak louder than words. Moved by gratitude and regret, the couple reached out to Erica to offer a sincere apology. It was a moment of reconciliation that demonstrated how even the hardest hearts can be softened by compassion. Mr. Thompson, the manager who once questioned Erica's presence at the hotel, was also deeply affected by the events. The image of Erica saving a life was engraved in his mind, forcing him to reevaluate his actions. He recognized the mistake of having underestimated a woman because of deep-seated prejudices and decided he needed to do something to correct his actions. In a gesture of redemption, Mr. Thompson offered Erica an extension of her stay as a way of trying to make up for the unfair treatment she had received. This gesture, although symbolic, represented a recognition of Erica's worth and dignity, which he had previously ignored. The couple's and Mr. Thompson's decision to seek reconciliation with Erica was not just an act of apology, but a crucial step toward their personal transformation. Pride can often prevent us from acknowledging our mistakes, but in this case, the experience of almost losing someone they despised forced them to face their failures. This acknowledgement and the apology that followed were essential to the healing process, both for Erica and those who offended her. By accepting their failures and asking for forgiveness, they not only eased the burden of their guilt, but also paved the way for a more inclusive and respectful environment. Erica, in turn, showed a greatness of spirit by accepting the apology with grace and empathy. She understood that the apology did not erase what had happened, but it represented an important step in the right direction. By accepting Mr. Thompson's gesture, she not only demonstrated forgiveness, but also reinforced the idea that change is possible when there is sincere recognition of mistakes. The redemption and reconciliation that followed the pool incident was not just for the couple or Mr. Thompson, but for everyone who witnessed the events unfold. Everyone has learned that a person's true worth is revealed in their actions and character, not in their first impressions. This new reality at the Starlight Hotel began to take hold as news of the incident spread. Erica had planted a seed of change, not just in the hearts of those who had judged her, but throughout the hotel's culture. And this transformation would continue to evolve, bringing positive consequences for everyone involved. What began as a simple apology became the starting point for a series of profound and lasting changes, both in Erica's life and in the dynamics of the hotel itself. Erica's actions not only saved a life, but also left an indelible mark on the Starlight Hotel. What began as an emergency situation evolved into a catalyst for cultural transformation within the hotel. The courage and compassion Erica demonstrated throughout her stay inspired deep reflection among staff and guests. It didn't take long for the Starlight Hotel to begin implementing significant changes, starting with diversity training for all employees. It was clear that the experience with Erica had opened everyone's eyes to the importance of treating each person with the respect and dignity they deserve. The impact of Erica's actions was also manifested in tangible ways in the hotel's physical space itself. In recognition of what she represented and the lessons she brought, Mr. Thompson, now aware of the need for change, decided to dedicate a special suite in her honor. The name, Heart of Kindness Suite, was not just a symbolic gesture, but a constant reminder to all who pass by that kindness and empathy are the true luxuries we must cultivate. This suite, more than a luxurious space, became a sanctuary of values, showing that even the most traditional institutions can evolve and embrace a new way of thinking. To guests who continued to frequent the Starlight Hotel, Erica's story spread as an example of integrity and strength. Many began to question their own biases and strive to create a more inclusive environment, both within the hotel and in their everyday lives. The lesson Erica left behind was clear. A person's true impact is not measured by the money they spend or the clothes they wear, but by the heart they show in their actions. Erica's presence, which was initially seen with suspicion, ended up enriching everyone's experience, proving that moments of crisis can be opportunities for growth and change. The ripple effect of Erica's actions reached beyond the hotel, inspiring changes that resonated throughout the community surrounding Starlight. Mr. Thompson's leadership in promoting a more fair and respectful environment has spread to other local establishments and businesses, which have also begun to implement inclusion and diversity policies. Erica's influence, even after her departure, continued to reverberate, showing that an act of kindness can have ramifications that go far beyond the moment. Her story became a powerful narrative about the ability each of us has to positively influence the world around us, no matter how big or small our gesture. Although Erica left the hotel, the legacy of her actions endured, shaping the interactions and attitudes of those who came after her. The Heart of Kindness Suite has become an attraction in its own right, with many guests wanting to stay there to connect with the positive energy Erica left behind. But more than that, her story served as a beacon of hope and transformation. She showed that even in the most unexpected places, we can find the opportunity to make a lasting impact. And so, the Starlight Hotel, once a symbol of exclusivity and prejudice, began to be known as a space of inclusion and kindness, all thanks to the determination and courage of a single woman.